Okay, so let's go on to the next tip or trick. Well, it's actually my Scratchpads. So I'm just gonna quickly show you how to create Scratchpads in Hyprland. Now there is third-party tools like Hyperscratch, which specifically creates Scratchpads in Hyprland. But I think the support has ended there. I'm not sure. And then there's Piperland, which is the more popular one. So it does all the heavy lifting for you to create Scratchpads. But I wanted to keep it again simple and just use what's available on Hyperland. So I'm just going to use create Scratchpads within the Hyperland configuration file. Alright, so I suppose we have to open the Hyperland file again. Yeah. So we open it. So to create Scratchpads is not that difficult. It's just a few lines. But to figure it out, to make it look and do what you want it to do, is a complete nightmare. It was a real struggle, like anything in Arch and Hyperland. But it's fun. It's fine. Now I know how to do it. But understanding it is pretty simple. So the first thing you have to do to create a Scratchpad is go to autostart, and then what you have to do is load those Scratchpads into the Windows Windows area. I forgot the name now. The window. What is it called now? Well, it's a hidden area where your Scratchpads live if it's not on the main screen. So when you press the key combo, it will come to this screen. You press it again, it will go to that area. I forgot the goddamn name now. Anyway, so all you have to do is load them. When you boot up Arch Hyperland, it will actually execute them and load them, make them ready for use. Exact ones, Kitty, title, Kitty Scratchpad. You give it a title and then the class, obviously, so that it can create the actual Scratchpad, Kitty Scratchpad. So this Kitty Scratchpad is my normal Scratchpad terminal window. And then the Kitty notes is obviously my notes. Right. The Kitty notes is a bit more extensive. So what it does here is I had to create a configuration file to give it a yellow background to make it look like sticky notes more. So it's just a little configuration file where you can specify font, background color, and so on. And you put it in the .config in that Kitty folder as well. Okay, I just want to quickly show you that the file that changed this to yellow, the background. God damn it. So that would be in the, let's just cd there, Kitty. So mine is in .config Kitty. You'll see if it's there. Yes. So nano yellow notes is a file that you can just create, and then you can put in fonts and background colors in here. So the background color there is yellow, foreground is black. So this is just the file that you create. And then obviously if you reboot Arch Hyperland, you don't want your notes to get lost. So what this does is it creates a notes text file, and it will save anything you type in here in that text file. Obviously you have to still, if you type anything in here, let me just go to the bottom. If you type anything in here, you have to press Ctrl O to obviously save it like a normal nano file. Save it, and then it will save it in there, and then next time if you reload, it will load your text into the Scratchpad, which is pretty convenient. Anyway, let's take it away. Okay, so in AutoStart, those two lines, and then I think the next one is key bindings. Let's go to key bindings, obviously to open the Scratchpad. Right. Let's just make it a bit bigger. So there's my Scratchpad. So bind main mod. I've made my normal terminal one with S and obviously the nodes with N. And then toggle special works. There's the name. There's the name. Special workspace. So when this Scratchpad goes away, they go to a special workspace. Out of sight. Yeah. Anyway, toggle special workspace. Kitty Scratch. So that's the normal terminal Scratchpad, and there's the notes one. So this name, if I'm not wrong, is the special workspace name actually. Yeah. Anyway, toggle special workspace actually just toggles it, so you could use the same keys to actually bring the Scratchpad out and send it away. So that's pretty cool. Right, and then once you bind a key to it, we need to set up the window rules. So let's go to window rules. It's 5. So here at the bottom. So here's my normal Scratchpad, the terminal one, and there's the sticky note one. Right, so it's just normal window rules. Workspace special, so that's special workspace where they go to. There's the name Kitty Scratch. Silent means when you boot up Arch Hyprland, they are by default out of sight in the special workspace. If you take the silent away, they will actually pop up when you start up your Hyprland. Anyway, there's the class name of that Scratchpad, and there's a class name of that Scratchpad. It's a very important first line to actually create the rules for the Scratchpad. Right, and then float. You want it to float over everything, over the other windows, so that you can type away and just send it away again. Right, and there's just the size. How big do you want it? Center. So I want this one in the center. Because I want to be focused on it, type something quickly and send it away. But with notes, I want it to one side so that I can check my notes, check here, and then send it away. And then the animation. So the animation is, it slides, it gives you that slide action, so on. Same with this one. So the notes is a bit different. It floats, the size, animation slide. I gave it a bit more rounding edges, no border to make it look more like a notes type of thing, and a little bit of opacity. And then there is another setting that's pretty important. If you don't set it, your Scratchpads will just pop up the screen and pop out again. It doesn't have an animation. So that would be in look and feel. So you go to look and feel. And just scroll down to animation. Now here's my line for that bouncy effect. As you can see, it bounces a bit. Pretty cool. So Bezier equals bounce. Now this bounce, you can put any name in there. This is your unique name. And then these settings is how fast it comes down, how much it bounces, all of that. You can play around with that. And then the one that works with the Bezier, that's the look and feel of your Scratchpads. Then the actual animation, special workspace, on off, speed, how fast you want it to go. There's that bounce, it corresponds to Bezier. Slide FAD avert minus 50%. You get slide, you get slide vert, and you get slide fat avert. Those free. Play around with that, see what you like. What do you like more? All these other stuff, I'm not sure to which they are corresponding to. I even commented them out, so yeah. And I think that's that. So the exact ones, that 2 lines in autostart, you put that in. You bind the keys. You put in the window rules, and then if you want a animation effect, you come to this animation block. Yeah, and you put it in here. I'll have all the settings in my blog. Just kind of paste them if you want.